All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back after YouTube embarrassingly killing my sound on the first try, I think. We should now be live on YouTube for the second ODI of the Women's Ashes from Southampton. I was talking over an hour without sound, apparently, which is quite embarrassing. But apparently we are now live again, and I will tweet out the new link for that. And I will... I'm hearing sound now. All right.
That is always a relief to be hearing sound.
Yes, it's always good to be hearing sound in that regard. Okay, let me just tweet out that stuff. All right. Yes. Welcome back after apparently some technical difficulties with YouTube. And we are now also joined by Jessica from Australia. Hello and welcome.
Hello. As an Australian, this has not been the start to this ODI that I'm hoping for, but England have been bowling very well and have been getting their chances.
They absolutely have been, yes. Well, to recapitulate for all the listeners that apparently didn't hear anything for the first nearly 20 overs, England women won the toss, chose to field. They started with pace bowling and had relatively early wickets, 2 of them to be exact. The first one to fall was Phoebe Litchfield, who was out for 4, leg before wicket bowled Bell. Then there was Alyssa Healy, who was caught capsy, bowled Bell for 13. Australia ended the first power play on 59 for 2. And then we have another wicket. Now it's Beth Mooney, who is caught Bell, bowled Eccleston for 33. That wicket fell in the 19th over on 88 runs for 3 wickets Australia at that point. And well, now we're kind of back live for the second ODI from Southampton. We are in the 21st over. And with the first ball of that over, Australia bring up their 100 runs, 100 for 3. The not out batters are Elise Perry on 40 of 53 and Talia McGrath on 5 of 8. Well, welcome, Jessica, and just some technical or administrative questions. Are you okay with me showing your Twitter handle on the streams?
Yeah, sure, that's fine with me.
Good. There you go. We are bringing the stream to you in cooperation with Gorilla Cricket. Visit their website, gorillacricket.com. Follow them on Twitter at Gorilla Cricket. Follow Jessica at Sports Jessica and follow me at Linux Leah. Well, after that, those technical difficulties, let's hope the rest of the day goes without a hitch.
Hopefully, I'll see how long I can last tonight because it is already 9:30 here.
It's all right. It's all right. It's really okay. I will stay with the listeners for the rest of this ODI. So, well, what do you think so far of the match after looking at the scorecard or maybe seeing some pictures live?
Yeah, I think I'd be very happy to be an England fan right now. I think it's simple, especially now that we look like we have another wicket that of Tali McGrath, who will be departing for 5 runs off 8 deliveries to put England. So that was pretty simple. Got an edge on it, straight through the keeper, and that was not a particularly difficult catch at all.
No, that was actually I was actually surprised that England this time around took the easy catches. The capsy catch of Bell at short third man was basically catching practice. Yeah, and this looks regulation as well, and that means that Australia are 102 for 4.
And that will bring Ashley Gardner to the crease, who could either be incredibly helpful to Australia right now or incredibly detrimental if that can become 5 for not much.
Yeah, absolutely. But Gardner is generally one of the better batsmen among the bowlers or all-rounders in the team, I think.
Absolutely. If she gets going, she is, I think, one of the most destructive batters on the planet in this women's game.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, she has an average of 24.38. That's not that bad.
No. And I think there's a lot of these players of her style in white ball where averages can be a bit misleading because I think she's one of those players that she plays very aggressively. So quite often that means she either gets a huge ton or pretty much nothing. I don't think she gets that medium range very often.
I'm just asking people if the sound is fixed now.
Easy. As we say that, we have had a few fairly, I think, tight stock standard balls from Sarah Glenn that has been met with some defending from Ash Gardner. Still for 102.
Yeah.
Play that but right back to Sarah Glenn there to finish the over. Also 102 for 4.
Yeah, and one has to say that the ground fielding by England has been excellent again, just like in the last match, where they really restricted the Australian run scoring, I think. And there were here in this match there were periods where there was no boundary in I think something like 4 overs or or something like that. For 4 overs, there were no boundaries.
Restricting this Australian top order is not a easy task, and England have certainly been able to do that both this game and the last one.
Yes.
Alice Capsey now into the attack, in the hope of getting another wicket for them, which would be her second ever Test wicket if she can pick up one off 6 matches. I believe last ODI
Yes.
was the first time that she bowled in an ODI.
Yes, exactly. And
However, we start immediately with a run along the ground from Elise Perry for 4 runs.
yeah, this, of course, her best bowling in an innings was the last match where she took one for 37. And with that first 4, her average now is. I used duct tape this time.
What's
Unbelievable.
happened?
My backdrop is fallen down again. I will have to quickly repair that.
While Leah repairs that, we have a slightly wide delivery from Capsey that is played up by Ash Gardner. However, Fielder is there to stop it and restrict the Australians to 1 run from it. Capsey back into attack now, and draws a defensive shot from Elise Perry.
Okay, that should fix it.
Final ball of the over, Capsey in, and remains in the infield for no run. Australia is at 108 for 4. Ash Gardner is on 1, and Elise Perry is on 45.
Yes. Another 50 is inside. It's within reach for Perry.
Absolutely, though, with the batter of Elise Perry's caliber, I think it always feels like a 50's in reach no matter what the score.
Yes, exactly. She has 29 scores of 50 and 2 tons in women's ODIs.
Probably not quite as dominant as she used to be. I think sort of 2018, 2019 Perry, I think, was the best player in women's cricket by a long mile, but it's still very, very good.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, she averages above 50 for her career, and at a strike rate of over 75.
And especially, I think ODI has long been her best form as well, because I think especially better when she gets that bit more time to sit, think, and not necessarily have to score off every single delivery like you do in T20s.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, looking at her strike rate in T20s, it's only 114. This is those are Jinky Rahane numbers.
Yeah, she's not a bad T20 bat when used correctly, but
yeah,
I definitely think that she's more suitable for the ODI and Test formats than she is for the T20.
absolutely. I would absolutely agree with that. Well, and we have the third over of Sarah Glenn. Sarah Glenn's leg breaks, and it's been a tidy one as well. Only 2 runs
Yeah.
so far of it. 1 ball to go. And that is also another dot. So Australia 110 for 4. Yeah, England have been bowling really well. The
Absolutely.
Pacers
I
have.
think they've been. Well, you go.
No. What do you got?
I think I was just saying, I think from what I've seen, they've definitely done a lot better at keeping a really good line that I think they were sometimes getting a little bit wide in that first ODI.
Yes. There's also been a bit of movement through the air. Some shape from I think it was Bell. Bell found a bit of shape which really troubled the Australians.
Yeah, and they're just putting up a graphic on the screen now that can really see exactly where Perry's targeting balls, and perhaps he will run right in that region and will run away to the will run around to be fielded by Tammy Beaumont for only the 1 run. Pardon me.
It's all fine. This is a pretty amateurish. Or we are not professionals. We're not amateurs, but we're not professionals, people. Sorry.
We are definitely not professionals. So, how's your days been since that first ODI?
Oh, it's well, not that bad actually. Not that bad. Well, I will. I'm lucky to be able to do the third one as well, which will end the series one way or the other. And after that, we're going to visit my parents because both my dad and my aunt have round birthdays in the next week. And
drive down the ground from Ash Gardner right over the head of Sophie Eccleston, but is saved on the boundary by Kate Cross.
Yeah, as I said, this fielding from England has been pretty good.
Absolutely. I mean, that wasn't their proudest moment, but also, if that's your worst fielding mistake of the innings so far, that's not bad at all.
Well, there was one where I think it was short fine leg, got a hand to the ball and managed to slow it down a bit, but not enough to prevent it from going for 4 runs earlier in the innings. That was
another drive from Ash Gardner, this time with a bit more behind it, and it will race away to the boundary for 4 with no fielder able to reach it. So yeah, I've only been very much paying attention to the scorecard of the match so far. Sadly, before I came on here, I have had other things on tonight.
Oh.
What do you reckon from here Australia's past score is going to be? So halfway through, they're 4 for 120. What do you reckon they'll be targeting?
I saw earlier today that the average score on this ground is 245. Around that. And at the beginning of the match, I would have said that Australia will target 250 to 275 at bare minimum. Now I'm not so sure, because right now 245 sounds relatively like a relatively good score for Australia.
Yeah.
I would say 240, 250,
250.
something like that.
If you can keep these two in for a bit and get going
Yeah.
in 10, 20 overs, then you might be expecting a bit higher. I could see if Ash Gardner sticks around, you could see getting up to 260, 270, but I think 250 would be around where they'd be targeting.
Yeah, and I mean, as you were saying, that Ash Gardner is one of the more destructive batsmen when she gets going. I think this was the first 6 of the match.
I think that is quite possible. Let me check.
I think this is the first.
That was the first 6 of the match.
Yeah.
From Ash Gardner there. As Elise Perry moves to 50, which is her
30th.
30th ODI 50, which is a impressive achievement from someone who's been a key part of this Australian lineup for many years now.
Yes, and I mean, that's almost every fourth match she played, she made 50 or more. Because there's also two tons in there. So she's played 133 matches and has therefore 32 50-plus scores. It's nearly every fourth, which is quite impressive. After 26 overs, Australia are 129 for 4. This 26th over went for 10 runs, Elise Perry 50, as you said, and Ash Gardner on 17 of 18. And now Kate Cross is back into the attack for England here.
Kate Cross gets probably a bit lower down leg side than she wanted, but Lauren Bell on the boundary is able to restrict them to the 1 run.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Cross has been tidy so far. She is in her 7th over now, and she conceded 30 runs at an economy of 4.61, which is really, really rather good.
She's been really good.
Yeah.
Probably she'll be a bit disappointed not to have picked up a wicket, but
yes,
given that her teammates are picking them up, I don't think she'll be that upset.
No, exactly. She's keeping one end quiet, creating opportunities at the other end for the other bowlers. Let's see if anyone. Well, if you can hear us, please tweet in or use the YouTube chat to let us know if everything is working correctly now. I will retweet that we are live. All right. Yeah, this is the correct link. All right. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is it's something that just has to happen to basically everyone who streams on YouTube. I think that there's some some glitch or something like that, and you embarrass yourself on a muted live stream for almost an hour. Um,
It,
w- Glad to
it's a
have
very
done
easy
that.
mistake to make.
Yeah, I don't know if it was really a mistake or a glitch because I did not change any settings from the last time I streamed live, and that was apparently working.
It, YouTube and streaming in general is weird like that at times.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's see what is happening in Southampton. Yes. Cross bowls a very tidy over, only 3 runs of that, meaning at the end of the 27th, Australia are 132 for 4. There's there's a double and there's a single, 3 runs off the over. Um, Current run rate below the magical number 5.
Hit on the pads, Glenn goes up, but it is not given. Will they review it as they gather round?
Apparently,
So we
they
will be
will
going
not.
up. We will be going upstairs. I thought this was possibly a little too far down leg, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, there was another
It's
one.
close. It's certainly close.
Yeah, there was.
It does straighten up a bit.
Okay.
I still think it's very close. You might have the
Umpire's call there.
umpire's call there, and I'm guessing it's going to be umpire's call nicking the leg side post. Ooh, yeah, it's close. Review retained, but it is not out. Bit of a lucky one from Perry there. That probably could have gone either way.
Yes, there was another LBW shout earlier in the match where it was also really really close. It wasn't given, and England decided against the review that time because it looked rather high and going down leg quite a bit. Best case scenario in that first call would probably have been umpire's call on clipping top of leg. So yeah, but I mean England are probably not too worried about that because they retain their review.
You're trying to review, keep generating some threat. It's really, I think, good bowling from Sarah Glenn there. Keeps that in the back of Perry's mind for the next few shots. And one more run for Perry as she moves to 51. Ash Gardner is on 23. Australia for 136.
Yeah, and I mean they're again approaching that magical 30th over. With a relatively low run rate and fewer wickets in hand than they would really want, I think.
Yeah. I think they've still got some really good bats in the shed. You've got Annabelle Sutherland, Lana King, Jess Jonathan. I think they're all very good batters that could help Australia here, but I'm sure you would have rather still had McGrath, still had Gardner, someone like that in there as well.
It's It's a bit reminiscent of the last match. Actually, I think they were in a similar position, um, in that one.
Yeah, they were, and England really managed to keep that pressure throughout the whole match, and I think that's part of what won it for them.
Yeah, there were 144 for 4 after 30 overs in the last match, which is
Probably around where they'll be
yeah.
this time as well.
I'm a bit surprised that they are giving Kate Cross actually an eighth over. Are they going to bowl her out before the death here? Very interesting, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe the idea is if they can get Cross now, they can create some scoreboard pressure and then use more of a strike bowlers later on, try to force some mistakes. If your strategy is to keep Cross as your sort of tidy, I don't want to say unspectacular, but that sort of just quiet, tidy, keep the run rate low, not do anything too fancy.
Yeah.
She is doing that role really well.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, there's six overs of bell left, so
Yeah.
that's probably what they plan to use during the death.
Yeah, I'd be going 6 overs of bell, and then maybe I'd expect to also probably see some Eccleston, possibly some Silverbrunt.
Yes, absolutely. And this time, in this match,
my only concern for the 6 overs of bell is she has gone at seven runs and over, which is a bit expensive. So I don't think I'd be bowling her anytime soon to these, but if you're getting a chance to the lower order, I am absolutely bringing Bell in immediately.
Yes. And
Sarah Glenn is their choice for this next over, though.
Yeah, and I was delighted to see Amy Jones standing up to Nat Silverbrunt again, as they did in the T20. Actually, she did that a few times today again. Yes. Well, at the end of 29 overs, Australia 139 for 4. And
one of the nice things I do think about these smaller grounds that you get in England compared to a lot of the big grounds in Australia is I think they've just got a bit more character to them, because a lot of the Aussie grounds are basically just big concrete rings.
Yes. That's really the case. I think the Waka was the last one that had a bit of character, I think.
I like Adelaide. I've never been personally to it, but
yes,
Adelaide Oval.
Yes.
Then you've got the members pavilion at Sydney Cricket Ground that, let's be honest, would not be there if it wasn't heritage listed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Adelaide's got a bit of oval. I liked last Ashes that Tasmania got a test, and that was a fun ground as well, somewhere a bit smaller.
Yes, in Hobart, or where did they play?
Let me confirm that. Which one was it? It is a nice thing, though. I love. It's probably getting a bit small for this use, but North Sydney Oval for women's cricket is a lovely ground to be at.
Mm. Yeah, there are some lovely stadia all around the world.
Absolutely, I definitely hope. I mean, I'm a long way off, but I definitely hope to be one of those people that goes around to watch a ton of cricket in my retirement.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, I
get.
hope to do it before then as well, but
Yeah,
especially once you've got all that time on your hands.
yes, exactly. And Dharamshala is absolutely on the bucket list. Watching a match in Dharamshala,
Yes.
I think that's probably one of my favorite stadia.
I'd love to try to get sort of one in all of the major test nations
Oh yes. Um,
and just see, yeah, what the vibe at the stadium's like between different countries. I did almost, unfortunately, it just didn't work out. But in the pre-COVID era, I was hoping to get to New Zealand for the Women's World Cup last year, which would have been fun.
mm,
Or it would have been in 2021 had things gone normally, but that would have definitely been a quite fun thing to do, especially because it's not a particularly difficult trip from where I live in Sydney.
mm, yes. Yeah. I can see that. Well, we have Kate Cross bowling her ninth, and I guess they're really bowling her out here. As she.
Yeah, I can't see her coming back for just one over.
No,
So I
no,
would
no, no,
imagine
no.
she's being bowled out here.
Yes, absolutely. I'm absolutely certain that she's going to be bowled out here. And well, I mean, there's not much going the way of Australia in this situation. Um, 2 runs off the over after 5 balls. Australia going nowhere relatively slowly. Um, over the last 5 overs, the run rate has been down to 3 runs per over.
Yeah, I'm not counting Australia out yet, but I think regardless of how these next few overs go, the bowlers are going to need to step up a bit and be the
Absolutely,
heroes if Australia win this.
absolutely. But never discount a classic English collapse.
Oh no, absolutely. Australia is still very much in this game as long as their bowlers are getting the right lines, building a lot of threat and taking those wickets.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think one of the advantages for Australia in this matchup is basically that they have more viable bowling options as compared to England, I would say.
Absolutely, it's a huge advantage from a tactical perspective for Healy to have what
Eight, I think, eight
eight.
viable options.
Yeah,
Yeah. So at the end of the
it's
31st,
these days. I think it's pretty hard to get in the team if you can't do both very well.
yeah, exactly. Just to update the listeners, Australia are 144 for 4 at the end of the 31st, and Sarah Glenn is back into the attack for England for the 32nd over. Yeah, I think let's see what did they do in. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possible bowling options for
Yeah,
Australia in this.
Healy, Litfield, Mooney are the only three that don't bowl in the lineup.
Yeah, exactly. And last match they actually used 8 bowlers, I think.
Yeah, not surprised at all. They do like to use all of them, but I think that does give them a really good opportunity to see whose bowling suits the conditions, who's having a good day,
Absolutely.
and fit bowler skill sets into their plan, which is one of these things I love, especially about watching the Australian women's cricket team play, that you get those very interesting tactical decisions. Been 38 balls since the last boundary, so really good defensive work from England here.
Yep. I mean, it's a cliche to call these the boring middle overs, but right now England are actually keeping a tight ship. It's
Absolutely, I think they've been playing what is kind of boring cricket, but it's been really effective. Haven't got
absolutely.
many wickets in a while, but kept these two really quiet. And the boundary drought is broken as Ash Gardner finds the boundaries for 4 runs to move Australia to 152, and to move her to 32 runs off 32 deliveries.
So yeah, they've been relatively successful in keeping Elise Perry rather quiet, but Ash Gardner is actually going along at a runner ball, which
Yeah,
is exactly what Australia need now, because if they go along at Perry's strike rate on both ends now, it's I think a third. There's if they were going along at Perry's speed, they would end somewhere around 200, and that is drinks, everyone. I will have to step out.
Australia,
I will have to step out
Australia,
just a second, if you excuse me for
easy.
just a second.
As we head to drinks, Australia are 152 for 4. Elise Perry is on 58 runs off 87 deliveries, while Ash Gardner is on 32 off 32. Kate Cross will be bowling her final over after this drinks break. There are 18 overs left in this first innings. But yeah, I think so far it's very clearly been England on the front foot, getting some early wickets, keeping Elise Perry very quiet, and managing Ash Gardner, who, while she's been solid, hasn't been as destructive as I think we've seen her before. So I am very happy if I'm an England fan right now. As an Australian fan, I'm getting quite concerned, but also absolutely still anyone's game. Drinks break over, and it will be Kate Cross in her final over for the day. And we'll start this over bowling to Elise Perry. Comes in from Kate Cross. The ball is up and races away down the ground to the boundary for 4 runs as a solid drive from Elise Perry.
All right, I am back. Thank you all for your patience.
Defensive block on the leg side for Elise Perry. However, they do sneak through for the 1 run.
Yes. Oh,
What do they? No, they did not get Perry back on strike. Here they go, and they do get a quick single through the infield. It was a good shot, that 4 from Perry.
yes. That was a really good shot from Perry, and I mean, it's they need, I think, at least three boundaries every 2 overs from here on, I think.
Yeah, I think so. They're getting a few, I think, good, easy singles, stuff like that, but absolutely need to start finding the boundary a lot more.
Yes. Because
as Ash Gardner sort of loses track of that one, tries to go for a big sweep, but doesn't quite connect.
Yes. I think I saw one sweep this match. It was, I think, Elise Perry who played really good sweep for 4. And yeah, I mean, we talked about it last match that after the 30th over, you should really have a run rate above 5. You are.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are, I think it. I'm not sure what the numbers say in women's cricket, because also it's definitely gone up quite a bit in the past few years. You used to pretty consistently have teams struggle to get to 200, but these days, especially at this top level, you're needing 250.
Yes. And
as we have the end of the over, Australia are 4 for 158. Elise Perry is 63 off 90 deliveries, and Ash Gardner will face the first ball of the next over, who is on 33 off 35 deliveries, with Lauren Bell coming in for her 5th over.
Well, I mean, in the last match, it was 263 to 267. And there was a lot of spin involved that really kept the runs down throughout the match, I would say. So that's a pretty good indicator of what is a competitive score in women's cricket. Of course, there's always the peculiarities of the ground and stuff like that.
Shot from Gardner doesn't quite fully get behind it and finds its way into the hands of Sophie Eccleston. Ash Gardner will depart for 33 runs off of 37 deliveries. Australia fall to 158 for 5 as Lauren Bell picks up her third wicket of the night.
Yes. Yeah, I mean she's been, you could say she's been buying the wickets a bit, but getting Ash Gardner here is really really important for England, I think, because Gardner is the Australian that was going along at a relatively good clip, and yeah, okay, the next one in is Sutherland now.
But yeah, if I'm Lauren Bell, okay, I've been a bit expensive, but yeah, picking up 3
Yep,
wickets is great.
yep,
The rest of the team has been really economical with their bowling, so I think Lauren Bell's doing really well. I think it's totally worth that trade off.
absolutely, absolutely, and I mean Sutherland can bat as well. She has a career average of 25.6, which might not be that. Well, I mean, her high score is only 35, so she is.
Yes, but I mean, obviously a different format, but keep in mind she does have her test
Yes,
century already
yes,
this Ashes, so
yes,
she is very capable with the bat. I think he hasn't had a huge chance to have success at ODI batting so far in her career, though.
yeah, and even though she has played 16 matches, she only had to bat 8 times so far.
Exactly. There are benefits of being a lower order batter, or maybe even not benefits, but there are a lot less opportunities to bat when you're a lower order batter for what is quite probably the best batting lineup in women's cricket.
Yes.
Especially when Meg Lanning's in this team, which I mean she's not at the moment, but adding Meg Lanning, she's now retired, but Rachel Haynes, and that was an absolutely dominant top order.
Absolutely. Do we know how long Meg Lanning is out?
Not off the top of my head.
Let's see.
She is absolutely a huge loss to Australia when she's out. So I don't think we know, because I think part of the thing is we don't fully know what the reason she's out for is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's I'm reading it's an unnamed medical issue.
Yes.
So Cricket Australia don't seem to be giving many details, which is fair in their privacy, but is slightly annoying for the fans to not know. But
yeah, but I mean, she had a arrest because of mental health concerns.
absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's really good to be as vague as possible in that.
Yeah.
In those circumstances.
Exactly. I think sometimes in sports they get a bit too public with information.
Exactly.
And I think there does need to be a line of discussion about how much fans are, because I think fans should know some stuff, but I think there does need to be more discussion about how much privacy should players be granted, and I think it is more than, as Kate Cross puts down one and is on the ground clutching her leg. Is she all right? Definitely done something there in that dropped catch by the look of it.
Yes, it's cross at
as the trainer comes out.
Well, I
Heather
get.
Knight trying to stretch it out for her as the physio arrived on site.
Hmm. Um.
Nothing too awkward from that replay. Must have just pulled a muscle or something like that.
Yeah. But I think this is a that's a really that's a drop that England might regret. Um,
Absolutely.
getting Perry here would have been massive, um, because it would have meant that
Is she coming from the field? It looks like Kate Ross
mm,
is leaving the field.
oh yes. I mean she has been bowled out, so
Yeah, she's rolled out very much bottom of the order for batting.
yeah.
Don't think. I think the bigger worry for England is that there's that risk that she might not be available for the third ODI, more so than she's got anything left to do this time.
Oh yes.
And I'm sure that's the reason why he's coming from the field immediately, because there is much higher risk of losing her for more than there is reward for keeping her around.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, if England pick up Perry here, I would say then it's really they're really into the tail.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if Perry goes, I think if Perry doesn't make it to the 40th over, I am pretty confident in England at that point.
Exactly. Yes, if Perry gets out with more than 10 overs to go, it's probably advantage England.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, we have another very tidy over, except for that dropped catch from Sophie Eccleston in the
Absolutely.
35th.
She
Two,
bowled that very well.
yeah,
Got bowled to the field very well. It's not her fault that there was that unfortunate drop, but other than that, was excellent over.
yeah, and I think England are absolutely going for it with Australia on 164 for 5. They're bringing Lauren Bell back for her 6th over. Bell so far has picked up 3 wickets. Been a bit expensive, but England won't mind that too much. The important part here, I think, is the 3 wickets.
So, from the look of it, I'm expecting if they're bringing Bell back now, I'm imagining they're keeping Siverbrunt for those death overs, but I'll be interested to see what they do with the others, because if you bowl Bell out here, that does take you to 40, but you've still got, obviously you've just put Sophie Eccleston in, so you probably don't want to bring her out. You've got 3 left from Sarah Glenn, and you've got 8 left from Alice Capsey for those final options for those final 10 alongside Nat Siverbrunt.
Yes. Yes. 5 from Nat Siverbrunt, and yeah, I guess they will bowl Bell out here in
Big
the
shot from
yeah.
Annabelle Sutherland, races away to the boundary for 4 as she definitely gets the attacking phase that the Australians need to be in.
Yes, and I think England will bowl out Bell here because she might prove really costly at the death from the
Yeah,
40th on. So
I really like them bowling Bell out here.
yeah, but is there a twist in the tail here because uh, Sutherland is kind of taking her to the cleaners.
And this is exactly why I think you keep Bell now, so that you've got some as another shot. This one behind the wicket goes through for another 4 as Annabelle Sutherland moves to 17 off 13 with 1 ball to come in the over. But absolutely, like this is, we're saying that Sutherland's a capable bat, and
Yes,
she just hasn't been. She's been just getting little deliveries that she can punish from Bell here, who really needs to tie herself up.
exactly.
Restricts it for a dot ball for that final ball, but 12 runs off the over from Sutherland puts her in a nice position and puts, I think, Australia a little more confident now if they can keep doing this for a few overs. Australia 5 for 1 at 76. The
Yeah,
in batters are Elise Perry 62 off 92 and Annabelle Sutherland 17 off 14.
yes, yes, exactly. And if they go at the current run rate, which is nearly 5, and can maybe accelerate a little bit here, they might actually end up somewhere around 250, which
That's a good spot to be from where they were. They didn't look like
yes,
they'd reached that.
yes, exactly, exactly. They were absolutely in a position where they might have struggled for 200 almost.
Yeah,
And if they should really get 250, I'm pretty confident they feel like they can defend that on this pitch.
yeah. I think below 200, you're feeling pretty confident as England. Above 250, you're pretty confident as Australia. I think it's that 200 to 250 range. As Perry loosens up and goes for 6 right back over the bowler's head.
Oh, and that's the second 6 of the innings, I think.
Yes, that is correct.
The first one
Perry's
by
first,
yeah,
Cash Gardner had one earlier.
exactly. Yeah, if they can keep this up, they will absolutely be delighted.
Yeah, this is starting to look a lot more favourable for Australia than it was even 5 or so overs ago.
Yes, England kind of losing the plot here with the bowling. I mean, there are still very very tidy overs in there, but there's too many sloppy overs for from an England perspective. I would say.
Exactly, especially given that expensive overs are fine when they're picking up wickets,
Yes.
but they're having too many that aren't.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. There were. I mean, the last bell over the 36th, 12 runs, no wicket. And apparently, Heather Knight thinks that this was a bit too expensive of an
Ooh,
experiment.
that is an interesting choice bringing into it right now. I get why, but
Yep,
it's it does make it sort of just pushes the problem further down the innings, in my mind.
yes. Maybe
Which
Knight.
which pays off if you've got a wicket, but if
Yeah,
you can't get a wicket, this could backfire terribly.
exactly. Um, if the Australians can get a license to swing freely at Bell at the death with 5 wickets in hand, that could prove really, really costly. And I think the other bowling options, well, there's Bell. Capsey has been expensive. Glenn and Eccleston, okay, but you probably won't bowl spinners at the death.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for Heather Knight to be in. I don't think the bowling lineup management has worked quite as well as it did in that first game.
Exactly. Yes, I would absolutely agree with that.
And I think that first one was managed really well from Heather Knight.
That was managed really, really well. Um, and I think they had the right idea about the pitch in the last one, bringing the spinners on very early during the first power play.
And I
And
think they reacted, I think, very well, realizing pretty early on that Kate Cross wasn't really getting the lines that she wanted and pulled her out pretty quickly before it got ugly.
exactly. And I mean, um, if the ploy here was, or the plan here was really to get Ned Silver Brunt on and take a wicket, while also conceding fewer runs, the plan has worked. It has half worked. She concedes only 1 run, but she doesn't take a wicket, which, as you said, just pushes the Lauren Bell problem lower down the innings. And after 38 overs, Australia are 185 for 5. Yes.
Sophie Eccleston next into the attack. So he's probably been their other really cheap bowler. So means you're probably going to have to see a bit of Glenn Bell or Patsy or two of those, which is not really where I think I want to be if I'm an England supporter.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Big shot towards the boundary from Perry there, but he's covered by Charlie Dean at sub fielder. And these two are starting to really rotate the strike well, which is good.
Yeah. But again, there's a rotation, the rotation of strike, but if it all amounts to, well, basically
I'm
here
wondering
yeah.
if their tactic is get some solid singles here, see out Siva, see out Eccleston, and basically say we both know that Bell or Glenn is coming back and we're ready for it.
Yeah, or
Like I think that could be a strategy. Like and make it pretty clear to England, we're going to target that. Do what you will with that.
Yes. Target Lauren Bell, and you can't. Can you really bring back Capsy?
I don't think so.
Exactly. It's really risky to bring back.
She's been more expensive. She's been more expensive than Glenn, just as expensive as Bell, and Bell's got the 3 wickets to prove.
Exactly. So that leaves for 4 from Silverbrandt, 2 from Eccleston makes 6.
Now Silverbrandt will bowl her 7th over, and the final over before we reach those last 10. So at this point, there'll be 7 from Silverbrandt, 8 from Eccleston, which means that those 3 will only provide you 5 overs. So half of those last 10 have to be bowlers that haven't had as good a day.
Yes. If Australia can, I mean, at the rate they're going right now, they make a perfectly average score on this ground, meaning they are absolutely still in this match.
Throw from Amy Jones to the bowler's side stumps is just offline. I think it would have made it there in time, but was too wide, and Annabelle Sutherland gets back safely. Catch opportunity there for Sarah Glenn, but she puts it down, and Annabelle Sutherland and Elise Perry will remain at the crease. I don't think Perry got quite as much as she wanted on that, or a bit more than she was expecting, maybe trying to get it to drop in front of her, but either way, that was not the shot that I think Elise Perry was hoping for, but England unable to make her pay for that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's basically it's fine if there's a couple every over. What Australia probably really don't need are dot balls in overs that don't have a boundary. I think that's
5 runs off 4 balls, I think, is a pretty good.
Yeah, this is okay. This is more than okay.
Yeah. You either need a lot of boundaries, or at least be pretty regularly finding spaces to sneak through for a single, which they're doing. I think they're doing this really well. I think.
Ooh.
And is that Omar? Sutherland will face the last delivery of this over as Silverbrandt comes in to bowl. Big swing for the boundaries, but bounces quite far in and gets through for 1 as Annabelle Sutherland will retain the strike. Australia are 195 for 5. Elise Perry is on 75 off 104, and Belle Sutherland is on
26 of 25.
26.
Yeah, that was pretty risky from Perry on that third ball. It was just short of the
Absolutely.
fielder. That was
And England has decided that now is the time to risk it and bring Sarah Glenn in to bowl to Annabelle Sutherland.
ooh, interesting. Leggies at the death.
Annabelle Sutherland drives it past a diving fielder for 1 run to bring Perry back on strike.
Ooh.
No run there from Perry as it goes really quickly to third. And we stay on 198.5.
Yes, exactly. And
Probably not quite where Alice Perry wanted it, but she does pick up a run there through from a deep mid wicket. This has been, I'm sure Australia will be a bit disappointed that they're not getting as many runs off Sarah Glenn as I'm sure they were hoping for.
yeah. But I mean, 200 is coming up for Australia now, which will do their motivation a world of good, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes, 200 runs for Australia. This is it's always this psychological thing with these milestones, I think. And I mean, when if England have to really go back to Lauren Bell in the near future, the 250 to 275 are still possible for Australia.
Yep. It's still in a very interesting spot.
What?
As Nat Silverbrunt comes back in to bowl this next over. Drives down, but is cut off and only goes for the 1 run. Kate Cross, they're showing on TV now, seems to be doing some kind of exercise with her leg, probably just some muscle massaging.
Hmm.
And another single there from Perry for two runs off the over so far.
Yeah, this is exactly what Australia need now. Milking every score, every single ball, every delivery has to bring runs for Australia now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and yeah, this is a pretty good over from Australia so far. There's a single
Absolutely.
every ball. I mean, Net Silverbrunt was pretty tidy in the first half of the innings.
Yeah, I think it was a good move to come back to her, but I don't think it's really working out for him.
Not really. Especially because I think they would have really liked her to bowl later, somewhere along the lines of 50th, 48th, and 46th. Something
I
like
feel
that.
like in an ideal world, she would have been basically have been put in at one end and would be bowling out for the rest of the game.
Yes.
If they didn't have to bring her back in that last few overs.
So at the end of 42 overs, Australia are now 206 for 5.
As Sarah Glenn comes back in. I guess they're trying to just get her over and done with then.
Yes, looks like it.
Which I guess makes sense. The sooner that if she's going to go for a fair bit, she's going to might as well get a wicket early and not let them have the times where it's the final over and doesn't matter if they get out.
Exactly.
I'm going to be interested to see, presuming that they keep Siva Brunt bowling from her current end, who gets that final sort of few overs.
Yes.
That will.
Ooh. What is that? Hello?
What?
Okay. It's gone. It's
Sorry.
gone. You were. I think you were kind of cut off.
That's right. As Sutherland goes through the legs of the fielder for 4 runs there, and the first boundary in a while, but the runs have still been coming.
Yes. Australia have been running very well between the wickets.
Absolutely.
During the from beginning from basically I want to say something around the mid 30s, around over 35. They've been really starting to run very well. Take
absolutely
quick sharp singles and extend.
It's the benefits of having 2 fast bowlers batting that you can get between the wickets pretty quickly.
Yes. Okay. That's kind of true. Yes.
But yeah, also I think they have been picking their times very well and been doing it very smart. And that, as we wait for the final ball of this over, will be one final single, which means that there were 17 runs off that over, which I'm sure is one that Sarah Glenn will wish she could take back. Australia are 5 for 223. The current batters are Annabelle Sutherland, who is on 44 off 35, and Elise Perry, who is on 81 off 113.
Yeah, and look, this is the problem that England have, these 17 run overs. Australia now 20 runs away from what is apparently an average score on this ground, and they still have 7 overs to score another 22. I think 260, 270 from here on is a
Oh,
realistic.
good throw from the infield there, but I think Annabelle Sutherland made it in time. But we are going upstairs.
Mm. But I mean that's standard procedure for a run
Yeah.
out.
No, she is more than truly in her crease in time and will be not out.
Yeah. I think it's a bit strange sometimes that that they always send this upstairs because
Yeah, I think part of the challenge though is if you don't do that, then teams can get angry if it's not sent up and they
yeah,
think it
okay, yeah,
was,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
like it's one of those you really with any and all sports have to figure this out. There's a very fine balance between every single decision has to be referred upstairs, and there's going to be controversy about why this decision wasn't.
Yes, yes. And I think it's actually mandated basically now that the umpires send runouts upstairs to confirm it with video material, which is fair
Yeah, I think
enough.
any case where it's not absolutely clear cut,
Mm.
as Australia sneak another run off a misfield there. Very tiny over from Silver Bunt, but actually, 5 runs off it so far, I think. So keeping the boundaries clear, but perhaps not keeping it as low scoring as she wants. And hits it so straight along the ground that it crashes into the bowler's end stumps. No bowler.
Yeah.
But she could not get a hand on it, so is literally takes out middle stump. That was very, very straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I those are always the goofy runouts where the bowler gets a tip of a toe to a ball and redirects it into the stumps, or just brushes the ball, which would have gone onto the stumps anyway. Those are always the goofy runouts, I think.
Absolutely. You've seen in the men's Big Bash a few years ago now, the ball comes back, hits the bowler, in this case Adam Zampa, in the face, deflects right down onto the stumps.
Yes, yes. I now I remember. Yes, I've seen
that was an
that.
entertaining one.
Yeah. It was that was really entertaining.
It did take him out for a bit. I think happened to get his nose because I think it did dislocate his nose, but.
Ugh.
But I mean, that's probably not super surprising having cricket bat balls hitting you in the face
Yes.
at that level is probably not particularly good for you. Perry gets some elevation, takes it over the fielders, and gets away to the boundary for another 4, as England have brought Sophie Eccleston in, replacing Sarah Glenn.
Yeah, and
I mean, I think you have to at that point. I don't think after that 17 run over, I don't think you can justify keeping Glenn in.
absolutely not. Not at the death. Not in a match you have to win. Because of course there's still the fact that Australia that England will need to win today and on Tuesday to regain the Ashes, and
Yeah. Whoever loses today can't outright win the Ashes.
yeah, but Australia are holding the Ashes
Australia
right
can
now.
retain it if they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia can retain it if they lose it, but the best result for today's loser is a split series, which
Exactly.
Australia will be fine with. England won't be.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean this is kind of the problem. The run rate over the last 5 overs now is up above 7.5. All right.
Exactly. Like this has been fine from Eccleston, but it's also not been a particularly impressive one. If you've had the 4, you've had a single.
Yes, and I mean, conceding 5 runs at this stage is probably almost a moral
It's been the
victory for the
lowest
bowler.
scoring over in quite a while.
Yes, and it brings Australia to 234 for 5. And Annabelle Sutherland is now in sight of a 50, which...
And at least Perry's getting inside of the century.
Yes, but it would be a maiden women's ODI 50 for Annabelle Sutherland. And looking at the chat, we do have some people joining us. We have Matley, who says, "Woof, sorry I'm late, was listening to today's addition to the music collection, Badlands. It's not looking hopeful for England right now. Love and sausages. Hello, welcome, Matley. Please do let us know if the sound is okay, because earlier today there was a bit of a hiccup, and for the first hour apparently I didn't have sound and no one told me. So if you could tell me if the sound is okay.
That is a fascinating decision to now go back to Lauren Bell.
Oh yes. Oh this might
might cost England.
Yes, this might actually
If this doesn't pay off.
Yeah. Matley confirms that the sound is fine right now. Excellent.
Hooray!
Thank you very much, Matley. Well, yes, for everyone listening, Lauren Bell has been given her 7th over, and even though she has taken 3 wickets in the match, she has done so at an economy rate of 7.05, which is the second worst in this England bowling attack. Only Alice Capsey has a worse one at 7.5, but she has only bowled 2 overs, and she has not taken any wickets. So
single from at least Perry there to move her into the 90s.
Yes, but so far this is not that bad by Bell. 2 dots on off the first 2 balls.
I think the times that she's not got the best line, she's still got the fielders in the right locations. Like that one there was probably a bit wider than she was hoping for, but you've got the fielder out there.
And I mean, this is so far on track to be a very
up in the air from Sutherland, but does drop right in front of Charlie Dean, and she will move to 49.
Yes, so after 46 overs, Australia are 238 for 5. This over went for only 4 runs.
Is Heather Knight bringing herself into bowl here? Or is she about to toss it to someone? Because that... No, she looked... Okay. Because it did look like she was warming up, but then now she's clearly passed the ball off to someone else who... And it's going to Sophie Eccleston for her final over of the day.
Yes, Sophie Eccleston to bowl out. If she can keep this tidy here, Australia are under a bit more pressure, I would say.
Gets through Tammy Beaumont's legs, and with that single, Annabelle Sutherland scores her first ever maiden ODI 50 off 44 runs.
Yes,
So
congratulations.
of 44 deliveries.
Yes, congratulations.
And has a quick moment to raise the bat.
Yes, congratulations to Annabelle Sutherland. Her first ODI 50 in her 17th match. But
Perry goes for 6, but doesn't quite make it, as Charlie Dean, it was, takes the catch, and Perry has to depart for 91 runs off 123 deliveries.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is probably the opening that England were hoping for, because now,
absolutely,
yes, because now we have coming in.
I believe
Alana
Jess Jonathan, probably. Oh, Alana King.
Alana
that
King,
makes sense.
Probably. And I mean, she has batting.
I think this is a situation. Alana King can do quite well in.
Yeah, she has license to slog now, I think.
Exactly, and he's had a lot of success in the WBBL for Perth in those last few quick slogging P20 style, which is exactly what Australia needs right now.
It's really frustrating that... What? Come on. It's really frustrating that ESPN Crick Info...
Georgia Wareham. That is an interesting choice to bring out, and not who I was anticipating.
Okay. Didn't expect that. But I mean, she's off the mark. Right away. So okay. Yeah, I was just saying it's so frustrating that ESPN Crick Info only has the international stats for the women on
is frustrating
on the page, because it's really annoying to find any domestic competition stats for the women. So if you're looking for stats of a debutant, for example, or someone who has like Alana King played 15
and another. Sorry to interrupt, but in another wicket for the over, as Annabelle Sutherland can't quite find the boundary, and will depart for 50.
This is an excellent over from Eccleston.
Absolutely.
It has Australia on 240 for 7 after 47. 2 runs, 2 wickets.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Especially the defo, which is exactly what they needed right now.
Exactly.
A shame for England this was her last over.
Yes. Eccleston finishes her spell on with 10 overs, no maidens, 40 runs, 3 wickets, and an economy of 4.0.
As Lauren Bell presumably will go 1 over of Bell, 1 over of Glenn, 1 over of Siva Brunt to finish off this.
Probably. Except if Bell now goes berserk to the lower order, Knight might be tempted to give her the 50th. I think.
Possibly. I think it depends. It depends if you think you can legitimately bowl Australia out here, or if
Yes.
your goal is just to restrict the tail enders. I
Exactly.
think, and both of those are, I think, viable strategies. If it were me, I'd be trying to restrict it because these two are both pretty solid bats. You've got Alana King still to come.
Yes.
Shoot's not too impressive with the bat, but
Yeah.
if you've got people who can bat down to 10, like it's quite hard to bowl them all out.
I'm still amused by Schutt's last name because it's a German word. It's pronounced Schutt and it means debris.
Good description of how she sometimes leaves the bales, though.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, did we mention that Australia brought in Jess Jonassen at number 9?
I'm fascinated that they haven't brought King in another of those two. Like, I do think Jonathan is very, very underrated with her batting, but I still am surprised that Alana King didn't come through. But Wareham is going with her second boundary is 8 off 4 deliveries, so isn't looking too bad for Australia anyway.
Nope. Yeah, and I mean, what's really bad about my earlier point that the women don't have the. Just a second, everyone. Okay. What's so frustrating about the women not having the domestic stats on the page is something I noticed on the Alana King page because even though she has played 15 ODIs, she has only batted in 3 innings, has no not outs, has 20 runs, a high score of 18, and an average of 6.66. So those are not really numbers you can take anything from if because she has played so few international matches.
Exactly, especially with stuff like batting averages, they can get really, really weird the moment you get to a small sample size.
Yes, exactly. And especially for someone who tends to bat lower down the order and therefore doesn't even have to bat in a lot of the matches they play, like Alana King, who plays for Australia, who are pretty good with a top order. So
Exactly. I mean, you sometimes you can see a little bit of a bounce in the bowlers' averages between who bats at 10 and who bats at 11, because
yeah, okay.
if you're batting at 11, you expect to have a significant chunk of your innings being on outs.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Especially, I would love to I might run the numbers sometime to see actually how much in white ball cricket your spot in the batting order affects your
Oh,
average.
that's an interesting thing to look at. You're absolutely right. Well, anyway, at the end of the 48th over, Australia were 251 for 7. That over went for 11 runs, and it's Nat Silver Brunt in for the 49th. And I'm still amazed that we can see that in women's cricket. We have a pace bowler, and Amy Jones is standing up
Stepping
to
up
the
for.
stumps for Nat Silver Brunt, who is not slow by any means.
No, she is definitely a pace. She's. Well, I don't think she's a. She's not a light, quick bowler these days, but she is definitely not a slow bowler.
Yeah, I mean, she's no Shoaib Akhtar, but then again, for most of his career, Shoaib Akhtar wasn't a Shoaib Akhtar. So, yeah, I think this is fascinating. This is fascinating stuff, and I mean, Australia now closing in on 260. They will be more than happy with that, because there was a point in time in this match when they were looking like 200, 220 would be a stretch.
Absolutely. Australia, I think, have had an excellent back end of this innings after a pretty rough start.
And I mean, looking at the scorecard, they were basically betting around Elise Perry, who played the anchor role that in ODIs is still a viable option, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I know dropping her from the T20 side a couple of times has happened. It's been controversial as England decided to give Lauren Bell that final over.
Oh dear. This is either
This might be where
this might be
Australia going to get either bowled out or
yes, it's going to be carnage either way. Absolute carnage either way.
And the first ball does go for 6.
Yes,
so not a great start for that final.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This could be very, very bad for England.
Second ball goes long and clears the boundary a second time. 12 runs off the first 2 deliveries, and I'm sure England are regretting this bowling decision now.
Absolutely. That's 12 runs of the first 2 balls.
Quick shot of the Aussie dugout, and they are definitely enjoying this over so far.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't understand it. Why do you bowl Bell here?
Another sweeping shot from Wareham, but goes straight down the ground. Doesn't get clear the full boundaries, but does get a bounce for a 4.
Yes, so that's 16 runs.
16 runs off 3 deliveries.
Yes, and
Australia 272 runs. This is going to be high.
I mean, what were the other options? Sarah Glenn.
And again, Wareham clears the boundary for the third six of the over.
So that's 22 off 4 balls.
22 off 4 balls, 2 more to come.
Yes. As I said, it's going to be carnage either way.
Yeah. And even at this point, even if Bell gets those last 2 wickets, I'm still thinking Australia gets the better of this over.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Over the fielder's head, races away for 4 runs for 26, with 1 ball to come in this first innings.
Yeah, that's... Wait.
Final ball of the over does not get anything on it. So we'll finish Australia at 7 for 282 in this first innings. Highest run scorer being Elise Perry, who scored 91 runs off 124 deliveries. But especially big shout outs to Annabelle Sutherland for 50 off 47, and that very, very exciting cameo of Georgia Wareham, 37 not out of 14 deliveries. Pick of the bowler for England was Sophie Eccleston, taking 3 for 40 of her 10 overs.
Exactly, but a funny thing about that Georgia Wareham innings. Georgia Wareham's batting average in ODI cricket before this innings was 35. Now it is 53.5.
It is amazing.
Yes.
How much that can go up.
I mean, she has played 24 matches. She has batted in 6 of them. She has been not out in 4 of them, and she has.
I would like to see how many. Like, obviously, we'd have to have a cutoff, but interesting to see how many people have a batting average higher than their highest score.
Yeah,
because Wareham now does.
She had she actually had before as well.
Her
batting average was 35 and her highest score was 19 not out.
It is the weird thing about batting averages that they get a bit weird, as I think I already said tonight, over that lower order.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the innings break.
And a lot higher than I think anyone was expecting from Australia.
Exactly. 282. The average score on this ground is 245. I think Australia will be the happier team here after those last 4 or 5 overs. I would say.
Absolutely, I think.
Yes.
England, I think, will be very, very disappointed that they couldn't punish Australia for a slow start.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess you won't be joining me for the second innings because of the time zone differences. Am I correct in that assessment? Exactly.
You are correct in that. However, I will be hoping to join you for the third and final ODI.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, everyone listening, go follow Jessica. Over there is her Twitter handle. It's the third one from the top. Yes. Thank you very, very much for being on tonight, Jessica. And
thank you for having me.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. I wish you a wonderful night, and we'll keep in touch.
Yes, absolutely. Bye.
Bye. All right, I will then go through the scorecard. England women won the toss and chose the field. Australia, the Australian betting scorecard. Alyssa Healy, captain and wicketkeeper, caught Capsey, bowled Bell 13. Phoebe Litchfield, LBW, bowled Bell 4. Elise Perry, caught sub. Charlie Dean, bowled Eccleston 91. Beth Mooney, caught Bell, bowled Eccleston 33. Talia McGrath, caught Jones, bowled Glenn 5. Ashley Gardner, caught Eccleston, bowled Bell 33. Annabel Sutherland, caught Capsey, bowled Eccleston 50. George Wareham not out 37. Jess Jonathan not out 5. There were 11 extras, 1 leg by 10 wides, making a total of 282 for 7 from 50 overs at a run rate of 5.64. The bowling card is Kate Cross, 10 overs, no maidens, 41 runs, no wickets, economy 4.1. Lauren Bell, 9 overs, no maidens, 85 runs, 3 wickets, economy 9.44. Nat Silverbrunt, 10 overs, no maidens, 44 runs, no wickets, economy 4.4. Sophie Eccleston, 10 overs, no maidens, 40 runs, 3 wickets, economy 4.9. Sarah Glenn, 9 overs, 1 maiden, 56 runs, 1 wicket, economy 6.22. Alice Capsey, 2 overs, no maidens, 15 runs, no wickets, economy 7.5. And yes, so this is the innings break. Don't go anywhere. I will be back with the chase. As I'm doing this now alone, I guess I'll take a short break, but I will be back with you in time for what could be a very exciting chase. Thank you very much for the attention. See you later. And we are back, everyone. Well, that was quite the second half of a first innings from Australia, I would say. Australia end on 282 for 7, and welcome back to the second ODI of the Women's Ashes 2023 from Southampton. Welcome back to what promises to be, or what could be, a very interesting and exciting chase. England to open with Sophia Dunkley and Tammy Beaumont, and Australia are opening with spin from Ash Gardner. That's an interesting gambit, I think, considering that England actually bowled the first power play with only pace bowlers. Well, it's a very tidy first over from Gardner. After 5 balls, she's only conceded a single of the fourth over of the innings. Let me just tweet out that we are back live. Okay. All right. So tweet is out, informing everyone that we are back live. So after England used only pace bowlers for the first power play and into the boring middle overs, Australia actually opened with Ash Gardner and her spin, and her first over goes for only 1 run. England women are 1 for none from 1. Sophia Dunkley is off the mark of the 4th ball of the over. And for the second over, it will be Megan Schutt, a bit more expected. And yeah, and interestingly enough, Alyssa Healy takes a page out of Amy Jones' playbook, basically, and also stays up to the stumps. As Jones did to Nat Silver-Brunt during the Australian innings. And Schutt is very, very good for the first two balls, there are two dots. And then of the third one, there is one run to Dunkley, who's on a strike. And it's a bit of a back of a length ball that Dunkley pulls to deep square leg. There is a slip in for Beaumont. There's a dot ball, and that is followed by Beaumont pushing shoot out towards cover for a single. Let's see if I can see any of the field. There's still a slip in. And the last ball of the second over is another dot. But what's more interesting is that Schutt actually gets some in-swing here. Very good over from her, conceding only 2 runs, meaning England are 3 for no wicket after 2 overs. Sophia Dunkley on 1, Tammy Bowman 2. Sophia Dunkley on 2, Tammy Bowman on 1, and Ash Gardner continues from the other end. Let me know if there are any sound issues on the live stream in the chat. Do follow these people here. Gorilla Cricket are making this basically possible by promoting it. So we are doing this in cooperation with Gorilla Cricket. There's the website. The Twitter handle, my Twitter handle is @LinuxLea, and for everyone who was listening earlier, Jessica's handle is @SportsJessica. Do follow her. She was kind enough to, support me during the first innings or participate in this stream during the first innings. Thank you very much again, Jessica. And yeah, the second over of Gardner is way less miserly. We get a first 4 of the innings. There's 4 singles in the over and a couple, meaning every ball has been scored off. At the end of the third over, England are 13 for no loss. The over going for 10 runs. Tammy Beaumont on 9 of 8 and Sophia Dunkley on 4 of 10. The target being 283 runs, meaning the required run rate is almost 6. England currently going at 4.33. Yes, and from the other end, Megan Schutt continues. Oh, the joys of being a cricket fan in Germany. No one cares about the stability of the stream, even though you pay for it. Excellent. Well, England are starting to feel the pressure, I guess, because on the first ball of the over, Dunkley takes a run, wants a second, but is sent back. No, it's not Dunkley. Dunkley was facing, but Beaumont wanted a second, but is denied by Sophia Dunkley. One run taken off the first ball of the over. Shoot is getting a lot of shape here. The second ball is shaping away from Beaumont. She's looking to cut it, but misses, is beaten. Alyssa Healy is still standing up to the stumps for Megan Schutt. There's a cut. It's misfielded at point, and Beaumont takes a single. I thought you should never run on a misfield. Well, that would have been very, very silly if there would have been a run out resulting from that run of a misfield at point. If she had thrown it to the non-striker's end, maybe would have been able to run out Tammy Beaumont. She was out of the crease. The rest of the over should stay tidy. 3 dots, meaning at the end of the fourth over, England are 15 for none. 2 runs, all that is gained for England. And the required run rate is creeping towards 6 and over. The current run rate being 3.6. And Alyssa Healy decides to continue with Ash Gardner. Quite interesting. Because I think in the last match, Healy brought on the spinners way too late. She brought them on after the power play, and that after seeing the impact the English spinners had during the Australian innings, basically, where they were brought on relatively early. And by the time Healy brought on the spinners, a lot of the damage was already done. In the end, England made it, well, you could say, more exciting and close than was necessary, basically. And here in this match, England relied on pace for the power play and well into the boring middle overs. and Australia is doing the exact opposite of that again. And looking at it, it's not looking to work that well, because after a first over that went for 1 run, Gardner has bowled an over that went for 10. Now there is 6 of the first 4 balls of the over. Always keep in mind that the required run rate is almost 6. So England will actually not really mind these overs that go for a couple and a boundary, stuff like that. Anything more than that is probably rather welcomed by England. Trying to get the required rate down quite a bit. Yeah, apparently the average innings at this ground here is around 245. England actually losing the plot quite a bit during the last third of their bowling innings, allowing Australia to post 282 for 7. And that is the last ball of Gardner's over. And she dispatches Gardner over mid-off. Gardner tosses it up, and Beaumont is up to the challenge. End of the 5th over. England are 25 for no loss. 10 runs of the 5th over. Tammy Beaumont on 20 from 16 balls. Sophia Dunkley on 5 from 14. And now Healy replaces Schutt with more spin from Alana King, coming in early as well. She's over the wicket. And the first ball is a dot. She's going really slow with the leg break first up, just outside off, and Dunkley defends to cover. Well, right now, the Australian bowling is not looking that threatening as Dunkley hacks that pull to deep mid wicket. There's 1 run, they take a single. Australia's fielding is not as good as England's was. Granted, they dropped a few probably crucial catches during the innings, but the ground fielding was generally very, very tight from England. And Beaumont basically scoops that one with the fielder at deep square leg mopping up, and England get a double. So 3 runs from the first 3 balls of Alana King's first over of the match. Oh, and Beaumont places that beautifully past mid-off, running into the boundary rope. No way the fielders could get to that. Places it perfectly in the gap. 4 runs. And another one, this time through the same area, but while the last one was off the front foot, this one is off the back foot. But generally through the same area, another 4 runs. And the last ball of Alana King's first over. And Beaumont defends it, no run. There's not a lot of turn this time around for Alana King. End of the 6th over, England are 36 for no loss. The 6th over went for 11 runs. Tammy Beaumont 30 of 20. Sophia Dunkley 6 of 16. So it is a spin from one end and pace from the other as Megan Schutt continues her 3rd over of the match. And she beats Dunkley. Healy takes the bails off, but there's no question of a run out. The foot is safely behind the crease. Nothing to see here. Carry on. Yeah, they're checking if there's any edge on that for a caught behind. They're also checking if her foot is grounded behind the crease, which it is. There's no edge. There's the foot grounded behind the crease. So no danger there for Dunkley. Yes, and it's now on the big screen. Not out is the verdict. The next one by Dunkley is wide down the leg side. Healy moves to her left, collects 1 wide, added to the score. The next one, the second legal delivery of the over, is, well, it's not really flaked. It's tipped or guided to mid wicket. 1 run. Very similar ball for the next one, but on middle, and Beaumont defends that. And there is no run. Yeah, Matley, my background has come down again, and as I am recording from my bedroom, I turned off the camera because I don't want to show everyone the inside of my or the rest of my bedroom. Basically, I'll see if I can fix it at the end of an over or something like that. It's been a problem. I don't know why it starts happening so much lately. Might actually be the temperatures doing something to the glue. Well, anyway, Schutt has been dispatched for 4 by Beaumont. Then another dot and a single, meaning the 7th over goes for 7 runs. England are 43 for no loss. England will feel pretty good, I think, here. Australia scored 49 runs in the first power play during their innings. But let's see what happens here during this first power play. Well, the second over of King is much tidier than her first one. Hoppala. There's one single in here for Beaumont. The Australian fielding is getting a lot tighter, I think. England finding the fielders more consistently. Oh, and she basically she gives England a chance. A ball that is a bit short, maybe a bit short, but the big problem is that it's way too wide. Giving Dunkley an opening, and Dunkley cashes in. There's another 4. And England, at the end of 8 overs, are 48 for no loss. 5 runs from the over. Sophia Dunkley on 11. Tammy Beaumont on 36. I'll see if I can fix my background. All right, let's see how long that lasts this time. It's really heavy duty tape, and it has been working for a very long time. And I mean, this is nothing really heavy. It's some pieces of string. It's a stick of bamboo, and these flags, they're absolutely flimsy, basically. I don't know what's going on. Yes. Anyway, Megan Schutt continues, and she is punished for 4 runs by Beaumont. Then there is 2 dots and another 4. This time it's hammered, and it's blasted over mid-on, basically. So after 4 runs, after four balls of the over, Beaumont has already taken 8 runs from that one. And let's see what happens here. Beaumont steers that one from Schutt back to third man, and tries to settle for a single, but is sent back by Dunkley as short third man gathers it rather fast, throws in, hits the wickets, but Beaumont is well in. Yeah, Muttley, Iron Maiden might actually be too heavy for it now. I'm looking into something to replace this setup. Something with well, I don't know. A bit like a green screen with stills and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm looking into it. And the next one from Schutt is down leg that evades everything. Beaumont doesn't get anything on it. Healy misses it, and it goes to the boundary. So there's 5 wides in there. Basically, bonus runs for England. Meaning there have been 4, 8, 17 from the over. Oh. What is going on here? Okay. Beaumont says it is. She actually hit it, meaning the umpire is taking back the wide call. But it still means that England are 64 no loss after 9 overs. Schutt's 4th over goes for 12 runs, leaving Tammy Beaumont on 48 from 33 balls and Sophia Dunkley on 11 from 21 balls. And Australia are starting to rotate their attack. Now Sutherland is in. Some more right, medium, fast from Australia. And the first one is a length ball on the off stump, and it is defended for no run. I mean, Matle, you do know these kind of ban flags. They're not really heavy duty or anything like that. And the other one is a good length. The next one is a good length ball on middle, and she's trying to turn it away or clip it away to mid wicket, but she can only push it back to the bowler. There is no run. The next one is wide outside off, cut away, late cut down to third man. Well, England are actually ahead of Australia for the power play score, but only barely. And the Australians really accelerated during the second half of the innings. The next one is bowled onto the pads of Beaumont, and she gets it away, basically, toward deep backward square leg. They take a single. England need 221 runs. There's another dot. Dunkley is not moving along fast enough for my liking. She faces another Sutherland delivery, and she can only get it to mid wicket to the fielder. She's consistently finding the fielders here. That's the end of the power play. England are 62 for no loss. But this means they are 3 runs ahead of what Australia were during the power play. More importantly, though, Australia were 59 runs, but for the loss of 2 wickets. England without loss right now. And Australia bring in another bowler. That's the 5th bowler Australia have used in the innings, and it's only the 11th over. It's Tyler McGrath. Over the wicket. And that's a dot for McGrath. Well, there are there's a leg by in the over as my stream. I'm sorry, my stream sometimes spazzes out. Well, this is a rather tidy over from McGrath, as she concedes only 3 runs, taking England to 65 for no loss. But on a more positive note for every England fan, it brings up the 50 for Tammy Beaumont off the last ball of the over. Tammy Beaumont 50 of 37 balls, Sophia Dunkley 13 of 29 balls, which is a strike rate below 50, which is probably a bit of a worry for England here. I'm not going to lie. And Australia bring in the next bowler. It's Georgia Wareham with her leg breaks. Generally, I would say that Australia have more bowling options than England. There's arguably eight bowling options. For Australia in this lineup. Let me just take a short look. I think the only ones that don't really bowl here are, well, obviously Alyssa Healy as the keeper. I think Litchfield isn't really a bowler. Yeah, no, she hasn't bowled anything in one-day international cricket. Who else doesn't? Oh yes, of course Mooney. So, except for Healy, Litchfield, and Mooney, everyone in the Australian side is basically at least a serviceable bowler. And oh dear, that is out. Sophia Dunkley has been absolutely cleaned up by Georgia Wareham. Dunkley out, bowled Wareham for 13. She's trying to come across to this Wareham delivery, misses it, and it smacks into her stumps. That's out. And that brings Alice Capsey to the crease for England, who are now 66 for 1. Still 217 runs to get for England in 38.3 overs. Well, one would hope that. Oh yeah, Mudley in the chat is channeling his inner Josie Oak, saying we are doomed. I wouldn't yet say that England are doomed. They are still ahead of Australia at this stage in their innings. Um, but there was a real. I mean, there was an amazing finish from Australia during their innings. That last over from Wareham, that was just amazing. What she did there, making a 37 not out at the end of it, raising her batting average in one-day internationals from 35 to 53.5 with that 37 not out. Well, not much is happening for the last three balls of that 12th over. England 66 for 1. That brought 1 run and 1 wicket. Heather Knight is. Oops. Sorry, I think I said Capsy. Doesn't matter. Heather Knight is in at 3, of course. But Knight can't get off the mark. She's still on naught after 3 balls, while Tammy Beaumont is on 51. There's something going. Okay. We have apparently one of the previous fours of Beaumont has been changed to leg buys. What in the world is going on here? Which means she's now on 42 again. As McGrath bowls the 13th over. I can't find which one of the previous fours has been turned into leg buys, but I have a creeping suspicion it is the one that was first given as a wide, then turned into a 4. It was given as 5 wides. Then it was turned into a 4 as Beaumont indicated that she had hit it. And I guess that one has been changed to leg buys. McGrath can keep the English batters relatively quiet during her over. She starts with 3 dots followed by 3 singles, meaning at the end of the 13th over, England are 69 for 1. This is a bit confusing. I'm sorry. Well, Wareham is coming in for her second over, and after the 2 runs she scored in the previous over, she hits Wareham. She hits Wareham through the covers. They take a single, and she can raise a bat for the second time in her innings to celebrate a 50. Well, would have been a shame if she had gotten out before her real 50. She still made her 50 at a strike rate above 100. She is 50 of 46 ball for a strike rate of around 106. But she seems to have a few problems with Wareham, with Wareham's leg breaks, as there are only 3 singles in the over so far after 5 balls. Let's see what's happening on the last one. No, it's another dot to the captain, Heather Knight. Meaning England, after 14 overs, are 72 for 1. Heather Knight on 2 of 7 balls. She needs to get a move on, I would think. Tammy Beaumont, 51 of 47 balls, which is much better. And Talia McGrath continues her spell. And England are now falling a bit behind Australia, which is rather concerning for England, because Australia really accelerated at the back end of the innings. Meaning any overs that go for 3 runs, 4 runs, or stuff like that will mean the pressure will mount. England should look to go along at a decent clip, even though it is the boring middle overs. Otherwise, the pressure might be, or the required rate might be a bit much at the end. As the 15th over is dominated by dots, there's only 1 single from the first 5 balls. The single to Beaumont. Who can only get this away to deep cover. McGrath is bowling very well here. She has figures of none for 6 from 2.3 overs. Knight defends the next one that is on a length and a bit outside off into the ground, but there is no run as the fielders are on it. The next one is a bit fuller outside the off stump, and Heather Knight actually comes down the wicket, but can only push this one back to the bowler. There is no run. The next one is on the stumps. No, it's a bit outside off. It's a bit outside off, and it's a thick inside edge from Heather Knight as she plays without using her feet, and it runs away for 4. So that means the 15th over goes for 5 runs. England are 77 for 1 with Heather Knight on 6 of 10 and Tammy Beaumont on 52 of 50. Wareham to continue her 3rd over. And it's a rather short ball, and it's outside off, and Beaumont steps back and slaps it away into the offside. They take a single. Oh dear, she's now taking risks. As this one is fuller, it is on middle and leg, I would say, and Knight pulls out the reverse sweep. I don't think this is really a good idea at this time, as she nearly misses it. But she gets 2 runs for her troubles, and I guess she will take that. Wareham tonight, and it is fuller outside off, and it's going to deep cover. They take a single. Well, the next ball is driven by Beaumont, but she can only find the fielder at long off, and it's another single. All right. The next one is a touch short, and Knight cuts past point. And the last one is punched to point, and that brings the end of the 16th over. England are 83 for 1. The over goes for 6 runs, and that means it will be drinks, and I will get something to drink as well. Be back in a second. All right. And we are back. And it's McGrath continuing. As my stream stutters to kind of a halt. Well, we have Tammy Beaumont and Heather Knight at the crease for anyone joining us right now. The required run rate is almost 6 and England going along at around 5.1. And now Alyssa Healy is also up to Talia McGrath, which is interesting. I mean, Nat Silverbrandt took a wicket with Amy Jones standing up in the last T20, I think. And Jones has been standing up to the stumps to Silverbrandt, the England innings, quite a lot. Which is kind of cool. You don't really see something like that in men's cricket. And we have 3 runs of the 17th over from McGrath. England are 86 for 1. We have the Knight starting to accelerate a bit. She's on 12 of 17. Tammy Beaumont on 55 of 55. England are about even with Australia at this point in their innings. And the leg breaks of Alana King are to continue for the 18th over. And oh dear. On the first ball, looks like a leg break, pitching on leg, and goes towards middle. And Heather Knight has padded up. She's given LBW, but she reviews. Can the DRS save her here? Looks close. Well, at this point in their innings, the Australians had lost, I think, one more wicket. And yes, this is out. I'm afraid to say Heather Knight has been given out. LBW couldn't be saved by DRS, by the review. Yes, this is out. Hits middle stump. It hits middle stump, and Heather Knight is out. LBW Bold King for 12 at a strike rate of 63.15. That was really unnecessary. There was a connection issue. I am very, very sorry for anyone having to suffer through the buffering of YouTube, I'm afraid. Internet's been a bit sketchy for a while now, I have to say. Yes, and that brings Alice Capsey in at 4 for England, and she's off the mark with a couple. First ball. Well, sorry everyone. There seems to be a bit of a connection problem right now. My streaming software is disconnecting from or loses connection to YouTube. I hope it goes away relatively soon. Okay, I hope this means we are good again, as there's no more error messages popping up everywhere, but I seem to have lost connection for short periods of time. Sorry for the buffering. Yes, the 18th over went for 3 runs and 1 wicket, meaning England are 89 for 2 after 18 overs. Tammy Beaumont on 55 from 56 balls, and Nat Silver Brunt. What? Oh. Everything is weird today. It's not Capsy at 3, it's Nat Silver Brunt at 3. Because my stream basically was stuttering so much, I had to look at ESPN Cricinfo for a little bit, and they got it wrong for the rest of the over. So it's Tammy Beaumont and Nat Silver Brunt. Sorry, everyone. Alana King has figures of 3 over, no maidens, 19 runs, and 1 wicket. And Talia McGrath, if my sources are to be believed, is coming on for her 5th over of the innings. And off the 3rd ball, she seems to be out LBW. There's a big shout from McGraw and Alyssa Healy, and basically the entire Australian team is celebrating. And she has reviewed it. She has reviewed it. She's hit on the back. She misses the ball. She misses the ball and is hit on the back leg, on the thigh, in front of leg stump. And the ball pitches outside off, impacts her in line, but is doing way too much and thus missing the wickets. So Netzewa Brandt not out, and England retain their review. The next one is absolutely whipped away off middle into the leg side. That's 4 runs. Misses all the fielders. Excellent shot from Siva Brandt. That the next one is a length ball that is worked into the leg side by Siva Brandt, where it is fielded by Deep Fine Leg. They take a single. And last ball of the over. And this one is a bit shorter from McGrath, and Beaumont pulls that, and they take a couple. At the end of the 19th over, which goes for 7 runs, England are 96 for 2 with Tammy Beaumont on 57 of 57 balls, and Netzewa Brandt on 8 of 8. England going along at 4.98 with the required rate now having crossed 6. England need 187 runs from 31 overs. Let me know if there are any connection problems. My Twitter handle is @linuxlea. If there are any further connection problems, and if the YouTube chat bites the dust, that's probably the way to contact me and inform me of any unpleasantness. Well, we've got another king over on our hands here. And and king keeps it rather tidy, keeping England to 3 singles. 2 to Ned Silverbrandt and 1 to Beaumont, meaning at the end of the 20th over, England are 99 for 2. 3 runs scored off that over. England are basically on par with where Australia were at about the same time. Let me have a look. Australia lost their 4th wicket for 102 runs after 21.1 overs. So England slightly ahead, probably, one would say. And for the first time in the English innings, there will be Jess Jonathan with her left arm spin. Yes, I'm now actually seeing after 20 overs, Australia were 99 for 3 and England are 99 for 2. Meaning you could say they are a bit ahead, if only because they have one more wicket in hand. And the first ball from Jonathan to Silverbrandt is pulled. There is a catching mid-wicket out there, but it falls short. England are 100 for 2 wickets. The next one to Beaumont is pulled aerially, but mid-on is too far out, bounces harmlessly in front, and they take another single. The next one is basically a pull shot, goes along the ground into the leg side. She rolls her wrist above it and the fielder can't do anything. There is a dive, but the ball is way too fast and into the boundary sponge for runs. The next one is basically punched too long off. The next one is a bit shorter to Beaumont, and she cuts that away to deep cover. Last ball of the over, and it's defended by Silverbrandt, and there is no run. At the end of 21 overs, England are 107 for 2. The over went for 8 runs. The current run rate is 5.09 and the required run rate is 6.06. England need 176 runs from 29 overs. And Alanis King continues, and that's out. Tammy Beaumont is out-bowled by King for 60. England 107 for 3. It pitches on middle and leg, I would say. There's a lot of turn and takes the top off. That's it. There's no excuse. Oh, no need to excuse this. This was a Jaffa. Absolute leggies delight. That now brings out, let's see, I'm not trusting the live ticker. Yes, this time it's Capsey. It's Alice Capsey, everyone, in for England at number 5. And there's another one that turns, gets a slight edge, gets an edge, but it's played with soft hands and falls short of any fielder. The next one is wide and cut. And it's fielded by deep point. They take a single. King to Silverbrunt, and she can only push it to the fielder at mid-on. There is no run. As we're seeing replays of that Beaumont wicket, that was a really good delivery. There was a lot of turn, and Beaumont misreads the turn, and it takes out her off stump. Last ball of the over. King to Capsey, no run, blocked. England, after 22, 109 for 3. 2 runs, 1 wicket in this innings. The current run rate slightly below 5. The required run rate now 2.61. And Jess Jonasson returns for her second over, and Silverbrunt comes down the wicket, turning it into a half volley and creaming it through mid-off for 4 runs. That was a really good off drive. Not as aesthetically pleasing as something that Laura Wolfhard would probably play. Yeah, okay. stopping the video. The next one is just blocked in front, and then there's a pull to deep mid wicket, and they take a couple. Single of the next one. She's now bowling at the stumps. And yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why it has been working for more than a year now with my backdrop here, but I don't know. The last few days, it's been, I don't know, it's been so hot. The glue on the adhesive tape has been melting, and I'm sitting in front of my bed, and no, that's a bit of privacy I would like to keep. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm working on a solution for this one, and yeah, hopefully that one will be in place soon. I'm not sure if I already will have something for the Tuesday. Well, anyway, end of the 23rd over, and England are 116 for 3 with Alex Capsey on 2 of 5 and Ned Silverbrunt on 23 of 22. And the next over is bowled by Alana King, her 6th, and the first ball is cut away for 4 by Silverbrunt. There is a single on the next one. She gets it into the leg side, and they take a quick single. The third ball is almost a catch as mid-wicket dives, but can't get a hand on it. It is fielded in front of the boundary, and England take another single.